Hi, my name is Phil Gates from Behringer, and I'd like to talk to you about some of the cool features of the X32 console. Some of the great things about it, we're going to walk through a lot of different things in some videos, so here we go. Let's talk about the input section of what's going on with the X32. If you'll notice, there's 32 XLRs on this console, which is really nice because now you don't have to worry about tip ring sleeve connections or getting any kind of adapter going on. You have nice XLR inputs and bus outputs on this console. There's a little LED next to each one of the XLRs. And what the cool thing about that is you can instantly see which XLRs are phantom powered and which ones aren't. So it's a really cool way to kind of just at a glance see which condenser mics are happening and which ones aren't. And if a condenser mic isn't happening, is it indeed being powered or not? Easy way to see. Okay, you have an auxiliary section down here, which is 6 in and outs. Very cool is that you can assign them to buses, or you can use them for CD playback or any other kind of auxiliary input or aux out that you want to use it for. These are on 1/4-inch jacks, and we've actually included a couple of RCA jacks for in and out for connections to like CD players maybe, or iPod out or something like that, or even an iPhone that you might have in the iPhone holder on the front of the X32. You could strap it to the back. That'd be awesome. Other connections on the back of this include, we have the AES50 connection, and throughout these videos you're going to hear a lot of that. The AES50 is a very cool way that we can use a Cat5 cable to get all of the I/O out of the console and all over the stage or all over the studio to other boxes that work with it. So it's very cool to have these connections. There's 48 channels in and out per AES50 jack. Long gone will be the days of carrying around a long 400-pound snake. Now it's just going to be a couple of Cat5 cables. How cool is that? All right, so now after that, I have an UltraNet Jack. The UltraNet Jack here, what this allows me to do is I can connect the console to other systems, the S16 and P16D, to do distribution to make it so I can have individual mixes for everybody that's going to be listening. Each person in the band can have their own custom mix. But if I don't want to use all that setup and I want to just use the console and the P16 unit, I can just connect it to the UltraNet Jack and use it that way. And I can pass any signals, any mix I want through that UltraNet to these P16s, and everybody gets their own custom mix. It's no longer being decided by the front of house person or by the monitor mix. You can decide your own mix that you want in your in-ears or in your wedge, which is very cool. Next to that, I've got AES EBU, which is on an XLR. It's the typical signal that you want to have out as a 2 mix off of the console. It follows the master bus. Also, I have MIDI in and out, which is great for being able to use it. This is a console that is awesome for live or for studio. So being able to use the MIDI in and out to either control software, a DAW afterwards. If I record my gig using this console, I have the same setup. I take it to my home studio, and now I can use the MIDI to control my DAW, whether it's a big tower on a laptop or something like that. Same goes for these ports here. I can control this USB and or by Ethernet. If I hook these up to a wireless router, I can actually control this console remotely. And we have an app that's coming out in a while for the iPad. So if I was going around the room with an RT, a real-time analyzer or something like that, or I just wanted to remote control the console from another position, I can do that as well. And this USB jack will also help use it if I wanted to control a DAW via USB instead of via MIDI. So that's what some of the cool features. And then on this side, I have the bus outputs. 16 SLRs on the bus outputs. These are completely assignable within the unit, inside the X32. And I can decide what's going to go here, whether it's going to be a monitor mix or whether it's going to be a separate matrix mix to build somewhere else in a different room. So these are not hardwired to any situation. They are purely bus outs that I can send any kind of signal I want to for purposes that match the situation. So very flexible. And then finally, I've got 2 1/4-inch outs and 2 XLR outs for the main 2 mix out of the master end of the console. So this is just basically the back panel and connectors that get in and out of the X32. In another video, we're going to talk about other cool things.